Hello everyone, another week, another race. We are back in Silverstone for the 70th Anniversary Grand Prix. And here we are again at the end of Friday practice, taking a look at the results and what we should expect for the weekend. First, let's start with the big news that came in right before the first practice session. Racing Point has been handled a penalty for their copy of the 2019 Mercedes for their brake ducts. Racing Point, the team itself, will have to pay a $400,000 fine and are losing 15 points at the Constructors' Championship. Let's be clear, both drivers are keeping their points, but the team itself is losing points, which now puts them 6th behind Renault. Still, the FIA did say that their car is legal, they can use it this year, but the FIA and Formula One management will issue new rules in the upcoming weeks to prevent that much copying of a car. They say it's all right to copy some design, to take bits and pieces here and there and try to do something that's similar or even the same as other, but to the extent that Racing Point pushed it, this is a bit too much, and they want to clarify the rules so that it does not happen again. So, heading into this weekend, Nico Hülkenberg is still taking Sergio Perez's place since Sergio was diagnosed with another COVID-19 positive test. So Nico back in the car and looking very strong in FP1, finishing 4th, nearly 6/10 in front of his teammate Lance Stroll. So the team did try to understand what was going on, and during second practice session, Stroll did take the lead again over Hülkenberg. One thing that's worth noting, for the first practice early this morning, it was not about speed, it was about understanding the tires. Pirelli said that the issues that we had with tires last week were due to simply tire wear, because Silverstone is very hard on the tire. And this morning, everyone only ran with the soft tire, trying to understand how it behaves and how they can use it during the weekend. And at this point, from what we understand, some teams are even wondering how they will be able to really use it in quali, because it degrades so fast compared to the other compounds. Remember that this week they have a different tire compound, softer than they had for the British Grand Prix last week, and it is a very big puzzle for everyone. We expect a 2 to even 3 stop race because of the tire wear that will occur. So the results in FP1 are not that much of a concern whether teams placed high or low. Most of them not going for speed but for understanding the tires. The team that is still looking strong is obviously Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas may be getting a little boost with his contract renewal, getting the best of Lewis Hamilton in FP1. First time Bottas led first practice this year, and during the afternoon still pretty close to Hamilton, so it will be interesting to see. Bottas very disappointed with his bad luck last week, out of the point because he got the short end of the straw with tire failure just at the end of the race, and finishing 11th. So it went from a 5-point gap to a 30-point gap for Lewis Hamilton. He will just need to have all the stars and everything into places for him if he wants to still have a chance at the championship. But now that the contract is renewed, it is probably one less stress for Valtteri. He can focus solely on racing and knows that he will be back there again next year. So Mercedes still looking pretty strong this weekend and should be on top once again. Renault also still looking pretty strong. At first practice, they were quite far, but again, just trying to understand the tires. But this afternoon, Daniel Ricciardo taking third place during the practice session and with the hard tire, which is very surprising. We know that second practice might not have been super significant since everyone was trying different strategies and now really working on their race pace. But the fact that Ricciardo had third place and even at some point had a better lap time on the hard than Esteban Ocon on the soft shows that this car is really starting to find its grip and find its place at Silverstone. Last week, Ricciardo 4th, Ocon 6th, so they know that they can have good results here in Great Britain. It's going to be interesting to watch. I'm sure they can deliver the goods again this week. Ferrari, again, a little bit puzzling. Charles Leclerc still looking fairly strong, 5th and 7th during practice. But Vettel, another start of weekend to forget for him. During FP2 this afternoon, well, during both practice, behind his teammate Charles Leclerc, and this afternoon only 14 best, and just minutes before the end of the second practice session his engine failed, blew out, and he's gonna probably have to change power unit for the weekend, so not what he would want. Good news if we want, bright side, he will have a fresh power unit, but for later this season this might impede him into getting good results and might have to just get penalties for extra power units. So Ferrari against two sides of a balance. Vettel not where he wants, Leclerc climbing. So I will have to watch them, but I think again Vettel not really at his place, and with all the talks about him going to Racing Point and just it looking like more and more like yes he will be going to Racing Point, his head is probably not at Ferrari right now. He just probably wants to get on with it and move on. Other teams, well, AlphaTauri still looking quite strong in FP1, 9 for Kvyat, 11 for Gasly. They had good pace last week. They will be looking at doing it again this week. Haas, nothing much, far off the back, still trying to understand the car and suffering with Ferrari power unit. Alfa Romeo, now that's an intriguing one. Kimi Räikkönen said during the interviews that he thinks the car really has a Q3 potential. They just need to find the right setup for it. This week so far, not looking like they got it. This morning, 18 for Kimi, 19 for Kubica, who's sitting for Antonio Giovinazzi. And this afternoon, Kimi 17, Giovinazzi 20, who also had an engine failure at the end of practice session. So should everyone within the Ferrari engine owner be worried after 5-ish races that their engine will fail? We'll see. The Haas are the only one who did not change the full power unit, did not get power unit failure at this point, but it does not look good for them if the other two teams are having issues. And Williams, again, fighting at the back, but fighting with those teams, still making good progress, and will be looking to make it to Q2 again. George Russell, we know he can make it. Nicolas Latifi, maybe. Second race in a row at Silverstone. Since George has showed that he has a car for making it to Q2, there's no reason why Nicolas could not make it too. And did we forget anyone? I think we went through pretty much everyone. No, Red Bull, of course. Red Bull. what can we say? Albon under some stress probably this weekend. After not a so great weekend last year, he's still fighting with his car this weekend. You could see with Max, even just during practice, that the car seems to be to his liking. Everything going pretty fluid on the track and running well. And Albon still fighting, trying to find the right setup, the grip and everything. Does not, again, look super bright for Alex this weekend, but he will need to get his stuff together and make some progress. It is easy to argue that if he had gotten those podiums and maybe even a win in Brazil last year and the first race in Austria, we would not be having this discussion. I think someone's thinking they got a race car on my street, and they obviously not. Oh well, yeah, Albon. Yeah, we would not be having this discussion if he had gotten some podiums, but you know, circumstances, and I think the stress is starting to get to him. Red Bull say they will support him, giving all the support that he needs. New race engineer since last week, Simon Rennie, who was a Ricardo race engineer. So, I think it's just a matter for Albon of just focusing on racing and getting the car to where he wants it, not trying to beat Max. If Albon only does his job and focus on doing what he can and just getting what he wants for himself, results will come. Don't try to beat the guy. Do your own job and you will beat him eventually. So that's it for this free practice analysis. Remember to like and to hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think, what will happen this weekend. Are you excited for this race? I am looking forward to it, considering all the tire conundrum that's probably going to unfold. Thank you for watching, everyone, again, and have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow after the qualifying session.